You're listening to Real Talk. The whole point of camouflage is
Yes.
to blend in with your environment and
Yes.
remain.
To not be as visible
Remain
to the predator
undetected.
eye. Yes.
Well, what is the environment in space? What colors? Carson, please tell me. You never been, so you don't know.
Black, a lot of grays,
A lot of black.
a lot of blues.
I'll tell you what it is. Black. That's it, dude. Black. So tell me why the uniforms are green. Hello, everybody. It's Thomas.
And as always, it's your boy, Carson S. Davis.
It's your boy. Welcome back to episode 7. Guys, pretty good lineup today. For the next few weeks, there's 9
Yes.
Best Picture nominations.
Yes, there are 9.
There is 3 episodes, including this one, between now and the Oscars. Meaning 3 movies a week for the next 3 weeks. We're going to be breaking down the Best Picture nominees.
The 92nd Academy Awards at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, February 9th, 2020, to celebrate the past year's most splendid pictures.
And it was a really good year for film. I
watched
last
actually.
night on YouTube. I watched a kind of a highlight of like a bunch of the best acting
Yeah,
performances of
yeah.
the year, and then a bunch of like the best like cinematography of the year. And wow,
Yeah, it was. We had a really good. They were. Let me just put it to you this way: in pure Carson lingo, there were a bunch of bangers this year.
Yeah, no, there was, and especially for acting. Oh my God, like there was Joker on there. We're gonna talk about Joker today. Not very long because we've already kind of
Wait, what movie?
Joker. Yeah,
Give me
there we
that.
go.
If you know episode 6, and there was continuity.
It didn't sound as bad as I thought it would on episode 6.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Which actually, we
wanna-
got sound foam for the studio. It's currently peeling off the walls because I didn't mount it correctly.
But hey,
That was only because Carson kept screaming on the last episode and I could hear a lot of echo. So hopefully this helps at least a little bit.
now if you would like to see the sound foam, how about you tune into Real Talk Shorts, RTS. Comes out on Friday, just before the weekend.
On YouTube, highlights featured on our Instagram.
Give me that.
What's our Instagram?
It is Real, REELTLK _podcast.
There we go. All right, Carson. So every morning before we start Real Talk, I pick you up. Probably, I mean, it depends around the time. Today, I picked you up at 8.
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a little tired right now.
Yeah,
to
me
be
too.
honest
I
with
haven't finished my coffee. Well, then we go to the Starbucks
Yeah.
by your house.
Well, not always.
Not always, but
We
most.
go to a variety of different Starbucks locations.
9 out of 10 times we go to Starbucks before we start this.
Oh yeah, I don't think we have it not.
I mean, unless we're doing an afternoon
Afternoon,
episode,
yeah.
but morning episodes 100% of the time. So I get in the drive-thru. I'm driving, so I say, hey, I need to make 2 orders. On the first one for me, let me get a vanilla latte.
Yeah, very
Please.
simple, very
And
plain.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I say, all right. And on the second order, and then I look over to Carson, and what do you say?
I would like a venti, very berry hibiscus refresher with lemonade.
and I just start laughing because it's Clyde.
Oh, and 1 croissant warmed up, please. Thanks.
Butter.
Butter.
Yeah. Just wanted to highlight what Carson drinks in the mornings.
Well, this was new. I normally get a hot beverage.
Is it good?
Oh, it's splendid.
That's the thing, though, is it's like... okay. That's the thing, though, about all those, like, crazy-sounding drinks.
Yeah.
They're good.
Oh,
They're good, but you sound...
they're delicious.
You sound head-ass ordering it. Like, you sound like an idiot. It's a lot more simple. I like to live a simple life. Vanilla latte. Caramel macchiatos.
You like to live a simple life as you record a podcast
and iced
that
coffee.
you dedicate hours to a week.
You know, I could be doing different things.
But I wouldn't consider this simple.
Well, and it's not just the podcast anymore. I'm trying to step it up. Carson and I are trying to start a movie.
What's that movie about, you ask?
We don't know. No clue. We're in the developing stages.
Yeah, we're in pre-pro.
Yeah, definitely definitely. This is pre-pro.
Yeah, this is not even. Yeah.
No, I mean we're coming up with some concepts and different story ideas, and we don't have anything yet.
Yeah, but it'll come.
It'll come. Kind of waiting on it to come naturally, because when you force an idea, it really doesn't work that well. Because I don't know.
I agree.
We got about 3 weeks, because for the next 3 episodes, we're going to be talking about the Best Picture nominees, and then actually probably the. Can you stop? On the for the next 3 episodes, we're talking about Best Picture nominees, and then oh my god,
it's good.
And then after that, we'll have our Oscars episode, and so we've technically got 4 episodes before we need to have
Yeah, you're right.
a solid idea in the works. We
Yeah.
can start talking about it on Real Talk.
Because we'd like to have a segment called the director-actor relationship.
Well, no, wait, this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Huh?
This is the first I'm hearing about a segment.
Well, I didn't. Never mind. I thought that's what we were doing. Evidently, I'm out of the loop.
If we were doing a segment, I'd call it something better than that.
But I thought we wanted to talk about it.
No, we do want to talk about it. We want to guide you guys through the process of what it's like to make a short, independent film. And let me emphasize, an independent, okay? Because it's really probably just going to be me and Carson scrapping together what we can to make this movie. But yeah, the original Yellow Wiggle suffered a cardiac arrest.
Nice
this
segue.
week.
Yes.
It suffered a cardiac arrest at a relief concert in Sydney for those bushfires.
It.
Did I say it?
Yeah, you did.
It's a wiggle. The Yellow Wiggle, in fact. Fruit salad, remember that one?
Yummy, yummy.
Yeah.
Doodle Bops is more my thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Doodle Bops?
Yeah, I was a Doodle Bops fan.
Well, I mean, you're younger than I am. Wiggles is...
Yeah,
old.
Wiggles. Was
Now,
dope.
how many Wiggles did they have?
I think about 5.
They had 5 Wiggles, but how many versions of those 5 Wiggles? Like, how many people played the Wiggles?
I don't know, but did you ever
Because
go to the
this-
Wiggles store?
No. Where was that?
I don't know. I went to
What
one
studio
one time.
owned the Wiggles? Owns the Wiggles?
I think some Australian studio.
Really?
Yeah.
That would make sense, considering he was at a support event for those terrible bushfires in Australia. Oh my gosh, it is early. Jesus Christ, I need to take a sip of my coffee.
The Wiggles are an Australian children's music group formed in Sydney, New South Wales in 1991.
Yes, that was a '90s thing.
Yeah.
So I was kind of on the tail end of that.
Makes sense.
And you were a doodle bop. I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what the Doodle Bops are?
No.
Bro, you're missing out. You're totally missing
I'm
out.
sure I am. You ever watch Barney?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was a classic. I think Barney turned out to actually be like a pedophile or something, and then he got like canceled,
Thanks
like
for
off the show.
Thanks for
I remember something happening to Barney where it was like bad, and then they had to like take Barney away from him, like the role of a lifetime, just strip it from his hands.
the role. Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was. I think it was a pedophile, considering it was a kid's show and he was around a lot of kids.
Thanks for ruining my childhood. Thanks.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
all right. It's only Barney.
Okay, so the original Doodle Bops aired in 2005. So you were what, like
Okay.
6?
Yeah, no, I was past that probably
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
So now here's a classic.
Oh, wow. It first aired on my birthday. Give me that.
Wow, dude.
Give me that.
What's your birthday?
I don't know if I want the public to know.
Your birthday?
Yeah.
It's on everyone's Wikipedia.
I don't have a Wikipedia page.
Not yet. You will.
Stop. You're flattering me.
Well,
Well, I
Let's
guess
just see.
Real Talk will have a Wikipedia page. I don't know. I just think I want, if they're ever making my Wikipedia page, I don't know if I want my personal information up there.
yeah, they'll get it.
Certainly,
It's on your
My
face.
birthday's April 11th,
It's on your Facebook account. You have to put it in.
and it's on Twitter too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all over the internet.
That's it. Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
all right.
You know.
Canceled. Now, got a couple things to talk about this episode.
We do.
Let's talk about some of the more casual things first, and then we'll really dive in to our the first movie on the list is 1917, which we saw last weekend.
Yeah, let's give them a little update here. So
Yeah.
if you're going to stick with us throughout this lovely hour and a half, we'd love for you to listen and hear our thoughts and opinions and a quick rundown of these 3 Best Picture nominees.
First up, of course, we got 1917. We told you guys at the end of the last episode that we would be seeing that after we recorded. We did, and boy was it good. We got a lot of thoughts on that.
Then we will be discussing Martin Scorsese's The Irishman.
And then after that, we're gonna go into Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino.
His 9th picture.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. So yeah, stick around if you like any of those movies. Then
You might just want to
stick
buckle
around. Man,
Go
I'm not awake yet. I don't have as much energy because I stayed up late
Yeah.
actually working on this podcast.
Yeah. See, I stayed up late not working on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you'll see what I was working on here in a minute.
Yeah.
But anyways, do you know our president, Donald Trump? Do you know who that is?
I am, yes, I'm familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Twitter famous, everything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I think he's also like in some political office or something. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, he's been lobbying for this like new branch of the military, which is okay. No, listen. I want to start right off the bat. I don't agree with everything the man says. All right. However, this is boss. This is awesome. He wants to start the United States Space Force, the USSF, the first in the world to have a branch of the military dedicated to to
Do you know
space.
do you know what frets me?
No.
Is that he has a reason to think that we need protection from space. And if he knows that we need protection, God only knows what's about to happen.
Now, what? Yeah, so we could have. What are our potential enemies up there? The
Yeah.
Russians.
Now, is it like,
It says in 1970.
are they wanting to like combat like our earthly targets from space by like destroying like satellites? Or are they wanting to like
I don't know.
protect the realm of Earth?
No, I don't think we're getting into like Avengers stuff here, but I think it's probably more like national security by means of space travel,
Yeah.
like once like setting up, say, a moon base or a lunar space station.
Yeah.
I think honestly, we're at the brink. We're standing on the edge of a new commercial space age.
Yeah, I know.
we
There
are.
was that was announced in the 2000s or the 2010s,
2010s. I believe.
early 2010s, where
Yeah.
the owner of Virgin Airlines
Mm-hmm.
was going to create a space thing, and then now with Elon Musk's
Well,
SpaceX.
There's SpaceX, but now space is more private now. It's not government.
Yeah,
And now, I mean, that's a lot better because you can't regulate space.
yeah,
I mean, and there's treaties about that and stuff. No one can own the moon, regardless of where you plant your flag.
yeah,
But no, it's about to get really cool. Like we said in, I think, episode 1, 2020, it's gonna be a good year. And of course, we got Elon Musk running SpaceX with like starting the first Mars mission, and he's in partnership with NASA.
yeah.
A little bit on that, sourcing parts and things like that. So in the next couple of years, we're going to see a man on Mars, probably like a permanent moon base,
Do you think?
and over probably the next 10 years, the construction of like a lunar, like International Space Station. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I mean, we haven't done anything in space since like late 70s, probably.
Yeah, early 80s at least.
Yeah. Like imagine, so and then there's that show For All Mankind,
Yeah.
where like the space race never ended. Can you imagine if we kept at that pace for the last 40 years,
Oh,
where we would be right now? Mars would be a thing of the past, dude.
yeah,
We would have already been to Mars probably at the turn of the century,
yeah,
is my guess.
yeah,
But oh my gosh, I'm excited,
yeah.
and it's going more commercial, like I said. Like they were talking about sponsoring, like having like Walmart being able to post their logo on the side of a rocket
Jeez.
so they can get sponsorships.
Yeah,
and
wow.
like, actually get money for this stuff.
Makes sense.
Which
but
is
that's crazy.
it's creative, but at the same time, it's another place to see ads, and that kind of triggers me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see ads on the side of a rocket. It's not
Takes
very,
away from the aesthetic.
it's not very patriotic. Like the Saturn V that put the first man on the moon. You look at that thing, and man, it's nostalgic. It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got an American flag on it. It's red, white, and blue. It is great. Now, probably 2023 rockets are just gonna have like
Brought to you by Walmart.
yeah, it's gonna have the Starbucks logo on the side of it.
Uh,
Send a bunch of coffee grounds up in space with the with the Costa Rican coffee.
So
Up in
here's the thing,
space.
Thomas.
What if we could grow moon coffee? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that recent pictures have come out about this said Space Force's United States military uniform,
Mm-hmm.
and it appears that the design is camouflage
Yes.
of earthly tones,
Now Twitter had a lot to say about this.
as they always do.
Okay, well so it's camouflage in a natural setting it's a biological evolution, right? Some frogs have camouflage, lizards, things have camouflage to blend in with their environment. That's the whole point of camoufage. Is
Yes.
to blend in with your environment and
Yes,
remain
to not be as visible
Remain
to the predator
undetected.
eye. Yes.
Well, what is the environment in space? What colors? Carson, please tell me. You never been, so you don't know.
Black, a lot of grays,
A lot of black.
a lot of blues.
I'll tell you what it is. Black. That's it, dude. Black. So tell me why the uniforms are green. You just we might as well make the uniforms. I mean, granted, they're not going to be wearing the uniforms in space unless they're like in the space station.
Good point. Okay, but also,
But even then, it's just like, can we make something different?
but it's also, I think it's to have like continuity with like all of the
Well, and
bases.
I also
Like, that's
read-
our uniform.
I also read that it's basically the current Air Force uniform,
Oh, okay.
just altered a little
And
bit.
I know
to
that
say
Space Force actually was just a branch of the
Air Force.
Air Force for like 30 something years, and now they just decided to make it its own branch.
Yeah.
It's not, nothing new has been like
Yeah.
birthed. It's just they've just kind of done some
But
reconfiguration.
what I read was that was more for budget reasons instead of having to redesign and
Yeah.
produce an all new.
You know, they
but it's like
spend
how many?
millions and millions and millions of dollars on creating the perfect design of the camouflage on the.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Army just went back to their almost identical, like the dress uniform as World War II, like the classic.
No kidding.
Yeah. They wanted it was like a nostalgia thing. It was like the greatest generation. They were saying
That they're bringing it back permanent.
I don't know if it's. I mean, nothing's permanent, but I mean that's what they're talking about. It's just
Oh wow!
going
yeah.
back to the old uniforms.
There it is.
Yeah, and doesn't that look great?
It does look very professional.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know, something about that generation just inspires us. You know,
I don't know. I think
we should do
I
better.
think that looks cooler than that
I agree.
or that.
I agree. It looks more put together,
With the jacket and the tie.
more classy. Now
Yeah.
those are two different uniforms. One's a BDU, a battle dress uniform.
Yeah.
And then the other ones you're like dress up for like funerals and things like
Yeah.
that. But I'm excited. The world is going up.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
That's good.
I mean, there is a lot of bad things happening, but the human race is advancing.
The entire army will be wearing a new service uniform by 2028,
Can you believe it takes that long though?
making official the long-anticipated adoption of the iconic World War II uniform known as pinks and greens.
Pinks and greens. That's interesting. But now while we're on this topic of patriotism, have you ever seen the National Treasure movies?
I have been graced by those pictures.
Have you seen 1 and 2 both?
Yes.
Okay. Now, a couple years ago, shortly after the Declaration of Independence was stolen by the one and only Nick Cage, or Ben Gates, as if you will.
Yes.
There was word of a third picture coming out, and it never happened for some reason.
Yes.
But now, it's either been greenlit or it's about to be greenlit.
Give me that.
All right.
But what do you think it's going to be over?
I
Like
don't
what
know.
historical
because
American
the
historical?
first one was stealing the Declaration of Independence, and the second one was
Abraham Lincoln.
Well, it was finding the missing page of John Wilkes Booth's diary.
To get to the gold.
Yeah, the city of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, it's hilarious how they make all these like things like connect somehow, like the city of gold.
I actually like people like hate on it. I really liked it when I was a kid.
No, I mean I love the movies
because
I gotta admit I watched it recently and it's not as good as I remember it. Still,
yeah, but
I still love it.
Yeah, you're still fascinated by it because like when I watched those,
the greatest heist of all time.
Yeah.
This beats
All right,
every
we're gonna get lemon
movie.
juice on her fingers, and then we'll know what numbers she presses on the number pad.
Dude, the aha moment that they had whenever his father was like, "You got to put heat on it."
Yeah, it's like,
and they're like, "Are you crazy? It's the Declaration of Independence. We're not gonna freaking microwave it."
yeah.
And they're like, "He's like, you got to put heat on it."
He goes,
like, "Okay."
You need heat,
And then they put, and then
they just lightly blow on
they
it.
just they,
Yeah,
and, like,
then it
oh my
then,
god,
like Freemasons comes up.
oh my god, yeah, classic, dude.
See,
Oh
when
my
I
God.
watch these pictures, I was an American history like buff, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I went through like a total phase of.
I did too.
I loved it. Like
I
my
did
whole
too.
room was like American flags.
Well, me and my mom,
Abe
'cause
Lincoln.
My mom was actually a government teacher in high school. So she's always been
Oh,
a
okay.
history buff.
Yeah.
And so she obviously showed me those movies when I was young, and then I just like, I
Yeah,
was like, wow, this is amazing.
yeah,
America for the win.
yeah. And for some reason, I just fell in love with Abraham Lincoln. I thought he was a total boss.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the movie?
Of
Lincoln.
course, I watched it
Oh,
when it came
so
out.
good, man.
I
Daniel
couldn't
Day-Lewis.
respect the acting when I was little, just because I didn't think about it. But when
Right.
you watch it again, it's
No,
just,
I mean the first time
wow.
I saw it came out like 2012, right? So I was young-ish.
Yeah,
I
about then.
I was like 13 probably when I saw it. I didn't really know.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I didn't get it a film
that
probably
was
until I was 15.
oh, you give it a film? I give it a total picture.
No. I didn't get into film
Oh,
until I was 15. I would give it a picture too.
yeah.
Cinematic motion
Yeah.
picture.
It depends on your viewpoint, because like
Yeah. Now you could give it that on certain aspects of it, like acting probably.
and you give it that on like it's just hard for a classic to be a biography.
True.
Kind of. It's like unless
Classics kind of have to be original.
yeah, but I mean then you get into like Malcolm X as Denzel or Capote, Phil Hoffman.
Yeah, or
No, I'll give it a cinematic motion picture.
I don't think I would.
It was a banger,
It was really good, and obviously.
and Tommy
Steven-
Lee Jones was in that too.
Oh, can we talk about Tommy Lee Jones for a minute?
Yeah.
Actually, it's 22 minutes in. I think we got to get going on this.
Okay, maybe. Hey, let's write this down for Real Talk Shorts
Yeah.
that you can watch this Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk about Tommy Lee Jones after this. All right.
So Thomas, tell them what they're about to win.
Well, 1917. We're about to break down this movie.
In 20 minutes.
Talk about the ins and outs in 20 minutes. Now, guys, we got to warn you.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
There's
alert.
going to be spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
This is what I was
Spoiler
working
alert.
on yesterday.
Spoiler alert.
So now
The fruits of my labor
you have
gone
been
in
warned.
6 seconds.
You have been warned that
You've been
there will
warned.
be spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Oh boy.
In case you didn't hear it the first time,
Spoiler alert.
this is a spoiler alert.
Okay,
We're
this
not
is-
going to be hiding anything. We're going to be talking in depth about the movie, the ending, all of it. All right, guys? So if you don't like spoilers, I recommend going to watch this movie and then coming back to listen to our thoughts on it, because we have some good ones, I think.
I agree.
All right, let's get into it. Now, 1917 is a personal story by Sam Mendes. Now, it's not a true story, but it is inspired by one. His own grandfather fought in World War I. And the story that they kind of based this on was that his grandfather had to cross no man's land in order to locate, I think it was the bodies of like his comrades and stuff like that. So
Wow.
he actually did have to cross no man's land. So that opening scene, kind of whenever they
Yeah.
first crossed no man's land, is kind of what inspired it.
I see.
Now, this is interesting because not a lot of times you have like a director with such a direct personal connection
Yeah.
to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that like influenced him as a director? You know, like how do you think that affected the story? It being so personal, like in a different way than
Yeah.
than if he was telling the story of someone else, or if it was just entirely fictional.
Yeah. No, I think it definitely adds a greater deal of pressure in a sense, because
Yes, yeah, from a
you have
directorial standpoint,
you have
gotta-
a reason to succeed.
Yeah, well, and you feel like you gotta do your grandfather justice. So I
Exactly.
think you're a lot more motivated as a director to get it right.
Yeah, and you don't. Yeah, I agree. And it's like you're putting his story or a version of his story
Yeah.
to never be forgotten. Like this will be
Right.
cemented forever. 'cause it's a
Especially if it
picture.
wins like Best Picture too, which
Yeah.
it's got a real shot at.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, okay, so I saw it again last night with my dad because I wanted him to see it, and it was a nice refresher before we did this today. I noticed there was a veteran in front of me. I think it was probably a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
But in the scene where he dies and gets stabbed by that German, he got up and left.
Really?
So I don't know if like maybe that like kind of jerked a
Yeah.
like a reaction out of him and he had to step out or something. But I could see that
Yeah.
this would be a movie that would do that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's
Wow.
so personal and it's so touching. And anyone who craps on this movie just honestly hasn't seen it.
It was great.
And
It was phenomenal.
that's annoying though, isn't it? Like when you see people on Twitter and they're talking about movies and they haven't even seen it.
I
mean, we-
agree with that.
we-
But
we do
also,
that a little
is
bit.
it not annoying when like we do like say you're at like a party and you're wanting to do the Oscars ballot? It's like you try and guess which one's gonna win. You haven't even seen anything
well, I mean,
but one.
it's impossible to see all of them. But
That's not true.
All I'm asking, well, I mean, for us at this point,
You could see all the best pictures.
all the best pictures,
That's what I'm
yeah.
talking
But
about,
I
yeah.
mean, not from every category.
Oh no, you need to see. If you're gonna watch the Oscars, I want you to watch every minute of every.
Including
Motion
documentaries,
picture,
short
yeah.
subject, and short film.
Yes.
Live action
Yes.
and animated.
The people
No.
who vote at the Oscars,
Guys, this
how
is-
would you have the time?
No, this is all I ask from you guys. Just don't knock a movie unless you've seen it. Like you can't talk trash about it unless you've seen it for yourself. Don't go based off reviews. Don't go based off other people's tweets. Form your own opinions, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Fair.
Just don't trash it. Because personally speaking, I know how hard it is to make even a bad movie. A bad movie is hard to make. Don't trash it till you've seen it, especially for political reasons. Okay? You don't know the contents of the movie, so you don't know what you're talking about until you've seen it. If you've seen it, your opinion is valid.
Take that L.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we talked about Sam Mendes' personal connection to the movie. Now, let's talk about kind of one of the more publicized aspects of it, which is that the fact that it was shot to look like it was done in one take. And
Which added so much to the story.
it did. Now, I want to make a distinction for the audience. A lot of times people think cinematography is just how it looks or making it look pretty. And it is about that in a kind of a sense. And of course, Roger Deakins does an incredible job with that. But that's not what cinematography is. Cinematography is using the camera and the lighting to tell the story. You're not, I mean, they teach you this in film school. Even at the most basic level, a close-up evokes a different emotion than an extreme wide.
Yeah.
You use close-ups for emotionally intense moments.
Makes sense.
Extreme wides are establishing. It tells the audience where it is. Now a Dutch angle where it's kind of crooked, it tells the audience that there's something off, right? Even if it's just slightly, and you don't notice it,
Yeah.
psychologically it's telling you that, and you pick up on it.
Yeah.
So it's not just making it look good. You're using the camera to tell the story in a deeper way that if it's done well, you won't even notice. Okay, and that's why the cinematography in this is so good, and that's why the decision to make it look like one shot was a great one.
See, when I was watching it, I was thinking that the one shot, in some aspect, for some reason, it evoked like reading a book and like turning the page.
Yeah.
Like it was an ever.
Yeah, well, because
fluous, you know.
now we
setting.
read the first page of the script or so, right? And it says that the whole movie is done, or is intended to be completely real time, with the exception of one moment, and that's of course.
And that was when he passed out.
That's when he passed out,
Spoiler
and a
alert.
couple hours went by, right? That's
Yeah.
what made the movie seem longer because it was night and day.
Yeah.
But except for that one moment, everything was real time. So you're literally, I mean, there's not a frame of the movie where you're not with our lead protagonist.
Yeah.
So that's why like at the end when he's running and he does that like incredible like tracking shot, right? Or
Or the night scene with the fire
Oh,
blaze.
my
That was
gosh.
beautiful.
Okay, so I watched some behind the scenes on that
Yeah, I did too.
because you commented on it being bad visual effects in the moment.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
For one shot.
I know what you're talking about. I know what shot you're talking about. I didn't.
And when I rewatched it, okay, none of that's visual effects. What they did is they built a model of that city.
Yeah.
And then they had like a light, like a little LED kind of that on a track like this, on an arch that goes over it.
Okay.
So they could see where the shadows would land, so they could block it out on this like
Oh,
on
wow.
this, like
Okay.
model, right? And so
Yeah.
they could see like, well, when it's up here, the shadows will be here, so we don't want them to be here yet.
Yeah.
So he needs to run kind of slow or something like that. And so that was pretty cool. But the sets in this movie,
Oh,
if we
wow.
want to talk about that for a second, I think it's going to win Best Production Design, and I'm going to change that on my Oscar ballot because for a movie that's done in these long takes, I mean, you're doing anywhere from like a 9-minute take to like a 15-minute take.
Yeah.
Those are long. Usually takes are probably under a minute,
Yeah.
you know? And the average for movies today, the average shot length is less than 1 second.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
That's insane.
This movie, shot length, you're up in 15 minutes. Or if you want to look at it like after it's stitched together, hours.
Insane.
It was really masterclass, honestly, I gotta say.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I gave it a picture. Easy.
Easy. Oh yeah. And potential time will tell if it's gonna be a cinematic motion picture, but I think it's got a real shot.
I agree.
Now when I saw this with my dad, I was skeptical because a lot of times like some people just don't buy into like these more cinematic motion picture, like the deeper stories, and they just kind of like something that's fun, lighthearted.
Yeah, I agree.
Like a war movie, just something that's like a shoot 'em up or like a
or even
you
like
know, like a Liam Neeson movie, things like
I
that.
see what you're saying.
And I was worried that my dad would think that of this movie, that there wasn't enough action, but I was so happy and so relieved whenever he thought it was just as amazing as I did.
Yeah.
I mean, even he was noticing the cinematography and stuff because there's that shot with the burning church and he's silhouetted,
beautiful.
in the archway. Oh my god! And then the way that they placed that German soldier running at him, everything about it, the details.
Yeah.
Like my dad even pointed out one detail that I noticed. I never said anything about when he fires the flare when they get to the other side of the no man's land.
I know what you're talking about.
It goes up, you don't see it, and then finally, like when they turn around, and they're walking away. You
see it come
in
down.
the background.
Yeah.
So it's like even if that was visual effects, the attention to detail makes you think that it's not because it's just it's so real and it's so in the environment.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It feels like you are a fly on a wall.
Oh, and that's another reason why the cinematography was incredible. Because let's talk about that No Man's Land scene. This is this is my favorite scene cinematography wise, because this is what I'm talking about, where you use it to tell the story. The one shot really helped with character development because, like I said, you don't leave his side.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're the third person on this journey with
You
them.
feel like you're in jeopardy of getting hurt. When
Right.
you're watching.
Because when they're crossing no man's land, okay, so you know how when they're looking through the periscope, he's describing all these different features. We see every different feature, like the bowing man, the horses, the craters.
Yes.
We see every one of those in that order, right? So there's the horses, and then there's a bunch of flies on the horse. The camera goes
Through the flies.
It goes through that swarm of flies, so it feels like we are engulfed in the flies.
Yeah.
When they go through the barbed wire, they are like literally lost in this puzzle of barbed wire. Like the entire foreground is barbed wire. So it's literally what we would see if we were in the barbed wire.
Yeah.
Then you get to the craters, and I noticed this. You know, there was a big crater that they went down into, and then
Like
there's
in the
water.
muck, yeah.
Yeah, there's water, and there's a bunch of bodies in the water and stuff like that. They went around the crater, but the camera stayed right at the surface of the water.
Yes.
And I was wondering how they did that, and I gotta think that maybe, you know, at a football game, they have the wires and the cameras are on the wire.
Yes, I know what you're talking
I
about.
think they made a rig
Oh, you think?
where they were going handheld or on a steady cam or something, and then when they got to the edge of the water,
They could put it on this
they
rig.
put it on the wire and they hooked it, and then the wire ran across. You couldn't operate
That would make
across
sense,
that.
yeah.
And then there's another operator waiting on the other side to pick up the camera
Yeah.
and continue. That is just amazing.
Yeah, that is insane.
To be a PA on that set or in the grip department, I would kill. I would
Just to
kill.
even see how they did that.
Even to be an extra.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I know that one
Anything.
scene had 500 extras.
It was. I think it was that final scene in the trenches.
Yeah.
When they were all running out, and you know when he got hit, like 2 times, you got knocked over. Not scripted.
Oh, really?
The stakes were just so high for each take since they were so long.
Yeah.
And so many explosions were happening. Each take probably cost them like thousands and thousands of dollars.
I'm sure. I mean, look at the budget for
Probably
this movie.
it was 90 million. I looked it up.
90
last night.
million?
Yeah. Which is hilarious. It's a movie like this, so perfectly crafted, at less than a third of what they paid for Endgame to get made. Think about that.
Well, okay, but you also have to
You're
account
s-
for the amount of salary that Endgame had to pay out.
Star power and stuff like that.
Downey Jr., Johansson,
Right.
Ritter,
It is an incredible cast.
Evans, like that had to all be paid. So like Ruffalo.
Yes, and that was part of Sam Mendes' choice. He wanted two kind of unknown actors for this, and they've been in a couple things. They're just not super like on the top of everyone's list. You know, like you can't cast Brad Pitt for this role like you did in Fury. You know,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
and that really helped too because right off the bat you buy that these are just two soldiers. Now, if it was like even if it was Tom Hanks in this, like in Saving Private Ryan, the first 15 minutes of any Tom Hanks movie, you're like, this is Tom Hanks. You know.
Well, of course.
You know, and you know it's Tom Hanks the entire time, so you don't have any trouble. You're more engulfed in the story when it's two unknowns, and that was a great decision by Sam Mendes that I fully support.
Oh, the second lead who died early, Dean Charles Chapman, was in Game of Thrones, and he was in the new movie with Timothy Chalamet on Netflix, The King.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. He looked familiar.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I know what you're saying. He looked like you'd seen him before.
Now, I mean, I could go on about this movie for days, and that doesn't happen a lot. Like, movies don't come around every day that I really want to watch and watch and watch again and study them for how they're made, but it's just made so well.
It was beautiful.
Every
It was
detail.
very nice.
And can we talk about the opening shot and the beginning shot?
Yes. Oh, with the tree. Oh, God, beautiful.
Now, I think probably filming-wise, it was probably the exact location, same exact location.
Probably. And you just got a different...
And they just redid the set so that it looked like a different location.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been cheaper to do that, so I would assume. But anyways, the opening shot is... what was that guy's name? The first actor who died?
Dean Charles Chapman
And
was
then
the
there
actor's
was
name.
George McKay, right?
The actor's name. Yeah, George McKay was the second.
Yeah.
Or the main, I guess.
Well, it was both of them. One of them was laying down, and then George McKay was leaning up against a tree. And then the opening shot, it's just a field, and then we pull back to reveal the first guy and then George McKay leaning up against the tree. And they're both put together, full uniform. Sun is out, and that's it. That's all it is. At the end of the movie, he goes and sits down. Same composition, sitting down on the edge of the tree, except this time it's just him. Sun comes out of the clouds, which Roger Deakins talked about how that was just a miracle moment. We had to use
Oh,
it.
really?
Had to use that take. And he was hoping that Sam Mendes would use it, and he ended up choosing it for performance.
Oh, wow.
So it was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And just this movie was, okay. I know we both gave it picture rating, which means it's like 5 stars, 4
Yeah.
stars. It's gotta be 5 stars for picture.
Yeah, it does. Because like a cinematic motion picture isn't really necessarily how good it is because it qualifies for a picture. It's like its cultural impact.
Right. Now this movie hasn't had the time.
Don't you love how like episode 3 and 4 we just started making this rating for fun and now we've actually like religiously.
Now we actually abide by this rating.
Yeah.
No, but guys, I gotta highly recommend this movie. It doesn't matter if you're against war movies or not. You gotta see it. A lot of people don't like war movies. You have to because it's not really a war movie. It's a human story.
It's a story. And the way it begins and ends, like you were saying, it just makes it feel like that was just one chapter of what they went through.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Well,
what
and there was a line in it even where he was like he got a medal prior to this story even happening, and he said,
what did he get that for? Yeah.
He's like he was upset that he got it and traded it for a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So it's just like the fact that he wants to just forget all of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And what torment did they go through while they were sitting on the tree the first time? What had they just gone through?
Exactly.
And what is he about to go through next? Like that was
Right.
what I really took away from it.
I got that too, where it was
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to see what it's like it starts over, but it's
Yes.
not the same story.
Yeah.
And just
Another journey.
I'm literally getting goosebumps. Look at this.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps talking about this movie.
Thomas has just gotten goosebumps talking about this motion picture.
Oh my god. That doesn't happen.
No.
That last time that happened was probably like maybe Interstellar or The Theory of Everything, like these movies that like I idolize.
Yeah, that's now
It doesn't come around
that
every
movie.
day.
That movie. I'm gonna if you're still for some reason at this point wanting to know if you should go see it, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you the evidence that's gonna make you go and see it. Okay.
All right.
When that movie ended, the audience didn't get up immediately. That was a sit down and watch the credits.
Okay. Well, and
To think.
The second time I watched the movie, there was a lot more audience reaction
Okay.
because whenever they're in the crater that first little like crater,
Yeah.
the little one, and the first guy goes in and then he kind of slips and knocks him over and his hand goes in the dead body after just being like punctured by barbed wire. So he's got an open wound in a dead rotting corpse.
Yeah.
The whole theater went ugh.
It was gross.
It was like it was amazing, and I felt like I was a filmmaker and I was proud that the audience reacted. Like I was like, yes, Sam Mendes, get it,
Yeah.
get it, dude. Oh, so good, man. And then there was a couple moments like that where the audience reacted. Like whenever the rat set off the tripwire, everyone jumped.
Oh.
I jumped the first time I saw it, not the second time because I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
man, dude, everything about it. And that scene was great because I actually watched an interview with, it was like a panel with the kind of cast.
Yeah, like a round
cinematographer.
table or
Yeah,
something.
with everyone who worked on the movie down to the producer. And they were talking about, I think it was Sam Mendes, talking about how what we really wanted to show that like every second could be your last. Like you have no idea. It's so unpredictable. Like they found the tripwire and then they knew they could avoid it. Fucking rat.
Yeah.
Just set it off. That's it. He could have been buried alive in there. Both of them could have.
Yeah.
You know? It's amazing. And then the makeup in it with like the dust
Oh.
and stuff, and how pale his face went
When he got stabbed.
when he was bleeding out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was probably visual effects. I would.
You know,
I
I
would
just realized something, Thomas.
What?
Throughout this little segment here, talking about 1917, we've been telling people that they should definitely go and see it,
Yeah.
implying that they haven't seen it. However, I think we just spoiled every major key point to the movie.
That's true.
So,
Well, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Yeah, I literally just said like, well, I didn't jump the second time because I knew it was coming. Now they know it's coming. The rat set it off. And hey,
Spoiler alert.
give me that.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
a little late for that.
Yeah,
But anyways, it's 42 minutes in, which means it's time to move on.
to The Irishman.
It's like I could go on about 1917 for days, though.
Yeah, but
I mean,
we have a schedule here, Thomas.
I didn't even come close.
What
to
is this,
hitting-
amateur hour?
No, I didn't even come close to hitting every mark I wanted to. But here we go. The Irishman.
The Irishman. Give me that.
Hey, and another, by the way.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Thank you for that, Thomas.
Yeah, just wanted to get that out there so that no one
this,
trashes
this
us.
will be spoiled. Okay.
Yeah.
So
now,
if
this is Carson's
this
ramble
is-
session.
This is mine. So if you haven't seen The Irishman, one, you're in luck because it's on Netflix, so you can watch it in the comfort of your own home.
Now go watch it because we're about to spoil the heck out of it.
Yes. So it should be relatively easily accessed given you have Netflix. Now, The Irishman has a director. He's done a few movies. He goes by the name of Martin Scorsese. It has a few actors in it who've been around in a few movies.
Yeah.
Names such as Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci,
Al Pacino.
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah. Who is it? Was
me
he
that.
in National Treasure?
Yeah, he's the FBI director.
Get it, dude.
Yeah, he was also I think the lead in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. That might have been Ed Harris. No, it was Harvey Keitel. No, you're right.
You know what else Ed Harris was in?
The Truman Show?
Yeah,
Oh my
no, National Treasure 2.
Oh my God. This podcast is full circle. Everything's
Yeah.
just tying together. This is
No,
perfect.
no. I think Harvey Keitel was in Mean Streets,
Oh.
Scorsese's first film, or one of his first films.
Well, anyways, we talked about the cast, right? I mean,
Yeah. So, and also, let's talk about this, Thomas. Jesse Plemons.
okay. He doesn't get a lot of attention, but he's
everywhere
He's
right
kind
now.
of in the background of every movie.
Every major motion
he's
picture,
killing
that is
it,
out,
dude.
and he's just in it
I
somewhere.
mean, okay, so he's in The Irishman.
He's in The Irishman. He was in The Master.
The Master. That's what I was thinking of.
He was in Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Vice.
Yeah.
With
and a lot of
Christian
times,
Bale.
have you noticed he plays kind of the same role, where it's like
Yeah.
the lead boss's backup guy.
Yeah, and he's always a little off, a little bit.
Yeah, he's always quiet,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
kind
and
of
he was also in that TV show. What was it called? Oh yeah, Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably where he got his start.
That was his biggest thing because he had a big role in El Camino.
I didn't finish El Camino.
He had a big
wasn't
role
a
in
huge fan, but I did watch Breaking Bad, and
Jesse
we're gonna talk
Plemons-
about that one of these days.
Yeah, soon we're gonna have an episode dedicated.
To Breaking Bad. So guys,
Breaking
go
Bad.
start it so that you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna take you a minute, but it is. Hey,
Yeah.
that's that. I don't
Worth
know.
it.
It's
Worth it.
cinematic motion picture.
The Irishman.
Pictures.
Hey, The Irishman.
The Irishman.
Gotta stay on topic. We only got
sir.
20 minutes to discuss all these 3 incredible movies.
Okay, so just gonna give you a little plot rundown, and then I'm gonna go into how much I loved it.
Okay, well, first, can we just say Martin Scorsese? Can I give you a couple movies of his that he's done so that we understand the kind of legend that this guy is?
Oh yeah, of course.
Goodfellas,
Give me
which
that.
is probably a huge inspiration for this movie,
Yeah.
especially cast-wise.
Yeah.
You know, old classic crime.
Casino.
Yeah.
Ace Rothstein.
Taxi Driver. And of course, you know it. The Wolf of Wall Street.
Classic.
Love it. And he even played the part.
I see it on the
He
outline
even
here.
played the part of Sykes in the blockbuster motion picture Shark Tale.
Shark Tales.
Okay, that
plural.
No, actually, it's not.
What?
Yeah, I put Shark Tales.
The
and
Mandela effect, bro.
I know.
I could have swore it was Shark Tale.
Me too. I googled Shark Tales.
I
and it
asked my
says-
little sister last night if she'd ever seen Shark Tales. She said no.
Okay, remind me at the end of this to actually talk about Shark Tale.
Okay, I'm putting it on the RTS notes.
Okay, because that movie has an incredible cast, and we got to talk about it. Anyways, the story follows the life of Frank Sheeran, who is played by De Niro, from his 20s to his 80s as a crime syndicate with relations to real-life figure Jimmy Hoffa, who is played by Al Pacino. It did an incredible job in that role.
It's the first of its time because it is one of the first movies to use extensive de-aging technology in many scenes. It's been done before, but like in minor parts.
Probably all
This is
scenes,
using
honestly.
all of the scenes. Yeah. Allowing Pacino, De Niro, and Pesci to play roles that they wouldn't now fit in due to their age, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Because
Which reminds me, didn't you tell me that James Dean was going to be in a movie?
I was just about to tell you that, yeah. So James Dean, I read, who has been dead now for probably 60 years,
Yeah.
is about to star in a World War II movie
That's going to be great.
using CGI and using his voice from all the movies that he was
I
in
gotta
when he was
admit,
alive.
though, that's a little scary.
It's very scary.
Because in the future, does that mean we're just not going to have actors? You're not going to need actors anymore?
No, I think it's more of it's I wouldn't say that, but I think it would be it's interesting because it's allowing an actor to never die,
Yeah, but it's also not James Dean.
but it's also how does that affect like now the artist can't choose his art anymore.
Right. And it's
So-
really James Dean isn't James Dean. It's someone playing James Dean, right?
It's a CG, yeah, it's
So,
animated James
yeah,
Dean.
I got a feeling that it's going to be bad. It's going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be what we expect it to be because it's not really James
I'm not
Dean.
gonna say it's bad. I'm gonna be open about it.
I'm saying it's bad. I mean, it doesn't even exist yet, I don't think.
Yeah,
But I think it might be.
we'll see.
That's
We'll
my
see.
guess.
I
The
mean,
Irishman.
The Irishman, yes. All right, let's get into it. Okay.
Extensive de-aging technology, which is why we went off on that tangent.
So here's the thing: The Irishman. I'm gonna share with you a little tidbit I learned about this picture.
Okay.
And if you're ever talking about The Irishman, it's a picture because Scorsese made it. And if you don't call
He
it a
only
picture,
makes pictures.
He only makes pictures, and
Yeah.
he only watches pictures, and I love him for that. So, The Irishman, it's a hefty one. 3
hours. In fact, Ricky Gervais made a funny joke about it at the
Yeah.
Golden Globes. He said, "We're gonna watch a short clip from The Irishman, and it's 88 minutes."
yeah, it's 3.5 hours. So I mean, you're gonna have to watch it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I enjoyed every minute. But I love that genre of movies. I love Scorsese. I love those guys, and it's fun to watch this movie too, if you've watched De Niro and Scorsese's older stuff, because a lot of the supporting and like recurring characters in the movie.
Well, and I'd recommend watching Goodfellas before you watch
Yeah, because
it.
there's a lot of the actors who are in Goodfellas and like supporting roles are in Irishman.
It's a pretty
supporting.
similar story too. I mean,
Relatively.
similar kind of story.
It's the similar feel, but not the same story.
Yeah. No, I mean, Scorsese would make two stories similar, but I mean,
But here's what's interesting.
genre. I
And
guess.
where the movie world is headed. So Scorsese and De Niro wanted to do another movie together. And they had been tossing around ideas for years. They're like, hey, we could do this, we could do that, sending each other books and stories they had seen. And I believe it was Scorsese's friend or De Niro's friend who had showed them this book by Frank Sheeran. And it was his life as Hoffa's right-hand man who...
I Heard You Paint Houses. Is
I
the
heard
name
you
of the
paint
book.
houses.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. So De Niro had gotten a copy of that book and read it. And he came to Scorsese with such a passion and started like getting goosebumps talking about this novel and how they could make it a movie to Martin Scorsese. Scorsese said, this is it. This is what we're doing. Because when I see you have such a passion and such a desire to make this, I know that it can be good.
Okay.
So
Another
that's
reason
how-
why he's just a legendary director.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to be a legend by being mediocre.
Give me
Sorry,
that.
but you got to be extraordinary.
So then it then not only became a story for De Niro and Scorsese, but then they decided let's have one final hurrah because they're all getting older and we don't know how long they'll have to make another movie
Right.
again.
And man, it was a final hurrah.
And they got the bangers. Okay,
Yeah.
Pacino came in, he did great. They got
Playing
Keitel
Jimmy
in a
Hoffa.
supporting role, but you know who the hardest to get for that movie was,
Who?
and you couldn't have made that movie without
Pesci?
Joe Pesci. It took them a while to convince him to come out of
Whoa.
retirement and do it. So
Well, man. He was incredible.
don't
in
get
it.
okay. You got to say that because I'm about to go off on how much I loved his performance.
What do you think this podcast is for?
Real talk,
Going off.
going off.
Hey, hey. You're listening to Real Talk.
Give me that. So, but what I was going to say was, here's what's interesting. So when the script was made and they were getting ready to, I guess, what would you call that? Pitch the movie to get a budget or whatever.
Yeah, you're kind of selling it.
Yeah, kind of shopping.
You're shopping around
Yeah.
for a producer or a company.
So I don't remember the name of the studio they had went to, but I know that Scorsese had went and asked for X amount of money, high dollar amount to make this movie because he wouldn't do this movie without the de-aging technology. He thought that was important to making this picture, which it was.
It was. It's kind of the opposite end of students trying to get like 20-year-olds playing
Exactly.
40-year-olds.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's vice versa. You can't get like a 75-year-old to play a 40-year-old. You know,
So
it's just not.
he went to a
believable.
major production company, and they wouldn't give him the money.
Do you know which one?
No. They wouldn't give him the money.
Okay.
And so he went to Netflix, and Netflix gave him more than what he asked for. With no
well-
questions asked.
Well, because they got a big part in it for them too.
Yeah.
Big directors like that moving towards Netflix. That's exactly what they want.
Exactly. Oh, and big actors. I mean,
Big
just look
actor.
at that
That's
cast.
a bunch of big names, and
Yeah.
it didn't have a theatrical release, did it?
It did have because it has to be nominated for an
That's right,
Oscar.
that's
So
right.
it was in like New York and L.A., I believe.
I would imagine pretty soon they're going to change those requirements.
Steven Spielberg is fighting for them not to. I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's less of like him not supporting Netflix. I don't think it's that. I think it's him because he's more of a traditionalist.
I think
he just wants people to still go to the theaters. You know? He doesn't want cinema to die, and I agree.
I agree too because I will say like when I'm watching it in the comfort of my own home, I have no problem with pausing it and going to do something and coming back.
Me neither. Or checking
And that
your
is
phone.
disrupting. That is disrupting the movie.
Yeah,
And that's
or you're
disrupting the
checking
art.
your phone in the middle of it, but when you go to a theater, it's you in the
You're
movie.
focused. You're locked
Yeah.
in. Tunnel vision watching
Yeah.
the movie. And
My dream is to have a theater in my home one day.
oh god.
Oh, and then just an extensive movie collection,
Oh yeah.
picture collection.
Pictures. But then also when you have a theater in your home and you own it, wouldn't you still be compelled to use your phone in the theater?
Maybe you got to make a rule. Don't bring
Yeah,
it in.
yeah,
Lock
maybe.
the door.
So let's get into this, okay? Pesci and Pacino both nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Rightfully deserved, okay?
Yes.
If you've seen Pesci in Goodfellas, My Cousin Vinny, he normally plays kind of like a really quick-tempered character,
Yeah.
right?
Home Alone.
Yeah, even that. you know?
Do you know how long he was in retirement for?
I don't know how long he was in.
Because I think it would be interesting, depending on how long he was in retirement for, to be able to come back and deliver a performance that good. You know, after having not done it for a while.
Do you know what that's called? That's called being a freaking boss and a mogul in this business.
No, but that would be really impressive. I mean, you haven't seen him in anything in a long time.
Okay, the last thing that he was in as a character was in 2010.
So it's been 10 years.
It had been 10 years.
Without acting. Well, more than that, because it was released in 2010.
Yeah, so probably 11
Probably
years.
11 or 12 years.
And the last thing he was in before that as a character was Lethal Weapon 4 in 1998.
So in the past
Now he's
20
done
years,
some cameos and voice work, but that's it.
Well, in the past 20 years, he's had 2 major roles.
Yes.
Wow. And then he just comes in and
He
drops
comes out of
this on us?
retirement like Mike and wins and comes back for the 3-peat. This dude is such a boss. I love this dude.
Oh.
And he plays a character named Russell Buffalino. And he normally plays like, in Goodfellas. You think I'm funny? I amuse you like a clown,
Another
Like,
improvised scene.
he gets really upset really quickly. This dude, the character he plays now, is really calm and collected and just knows he's a boss.
Well, at the same time, his prior performances kind of had an effect on it.
Yes.
Because it's like, it builds so much tension because you're like waiting for him to
Yeah, you're
explode.
waiting for him to. Yeah, exactly. Good point.
You know?
And it really adds another layer to this story of watching him. And
Yeah.
I think he should win Best Supporting Actor. I want him to. I think he was phenomenal. And
He deserves it.
At that age, because I believe he's in his early 80s now.
Really?
He's 76. But still, at that age, acting. The beauty of acting is that there will always be a need for characters who are older. Mm-hmm. Whereas like professional athletes, your career dies when you're 35.
Right.
And even like a normal job, working somewhere, you're going to retire around 60 because it's going to get hard for you. But acting,
There's always a demand.
humans
no matter what
will
age
always
you're at.
grow old, right?
Right.
So the beauty of acting is that you can, like, nothing will ever stop you from acting.
Right.
Unless you can't walk and talk. Or even that.
Even then, people
you
are
could
talking
still
about
act.
like if you're paralyzed, that they think a paralyzed person should play the role.
Which I believe is interesting, that is.
It is something we should discuss in more detail.
Yeah, but no, even that, like if you're the only time you cannot act is when you're dead.
It's true.
And but I do agree that it's got to get harder for when you get that old, like on a set that long, you get tired.
Are hard. Those are hard days being on a
Yeah,
set.
so like, and then he came out and just did that. I mean,
I don't know if you've ever been on a set, like a movie set. I know you've done a lot of theater.
yeah, I've principally started in the theater. No, I have not.
Have you never been on like a legit set?
Not a legit set.
I mean,
no.
I've never been on I've been on pretty professional sets.
You were on Lady and the Tramp, right?
Well, I wasn't on it, but I was there when they were filming it.
Yeah.
But those sets, so union hours are 12 hours. Mm-hmm. After that, they got to pay you overtime. Problem is, all these movies have $300 million to spend on you. They don't mind.
They don't mind.
They don't mind paying overtime, right? Because you're only making $10 an hour. Now you're making 15 overtime.
Yeah.
Who cares? That's a drop in the bucket for $300 million. So a lot of times,
But still, that
you'll
stuff
end up-
adds up pretty quick.
True, but a lot of times you'll end up working 16-hour days, 5 days a week. Can you believe that?
God.
God. The worst I ever had was I did 2 12-hour sets back to back.
Wow.
24 hours nonstop on set.
Wow.
Now, no one was breaking rules. They were both within that 12-hour margin.
Yeah.
I was just the idiot who signed on to 2 films and didn't realize that they backed up to each other within 30 minutes. So I had a 30-minute break, quote.
Did you take a nap?
No, I had to drive to the other set. It was 30 minutes away. Oh my God, dude. I've never been more exhausted in my life.
You know what's beautiful, Thomas?
What?
Is that we're both young and that we both know a lot or not a lot, but a little that seems like a lot right now.
Yeah.
That makes us excited for the journey ahead.
Yes.
And that's what I'm like. I'm fortunate because I know that there's a journey ahead, and I'm fortunate to be at this point where I know that I'll be able to stay in the moment and enjoy it. Because I don't want to look back at my life and think that I didn't enjoy the journey, because that's really the beautiful part of life.
Continue.
I just think I just think that the journey is really going to be a beautiful thing, something that we'll always be able to cherish and remember as we age and grow old.
I installed some new sad music and I just wanted to use it. Just a little too late.
So yeah.
A little too late. But
Sorry,
anyways.
we got kind of deep there.
Is there any other notes about The Irishman? Because we're coming to the end of its time here.
Yeah, let me just say this, okay? I totally recommend watching it, okay? There's
you have
classics. And now I just want to if you've watched it and you're listening to this, that scene with Al Pacino and De Niro and they're arguing
and getting so excited about this.
and they're arguing with Tony Pro about how like being late and
how much time traffic allows you. It's so good, dude.
That's so Seinfeld too. That's
It
what I love.
is.
It's like contemplating the minutia of everyday life. He's like,
Exactly.
Al Pacino's like, I don't wait past 10 minutes for anybody. And Tony Pro's like, well, I give 15 minutes. You got to account for traffic.
I am accounting for traffic.
And he goes, I am. And he goes, well, there was traffic. And then the improvised line of Robert De Niro just going, well, let's just say 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
I was
12 and a
like,
half in the middle. That's a good idea.
this is such a banger. I knew when I watched it the first time, it was an instant classic.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be an instant classic.
Such a great scene, dude.
Yeah.
The writing and then the spontaneity of the actors being able to
I just love that.
And
And
sell that sort of pettiness in the middle of
Exactly.
this like intense situation.
And here's an interesting story before we have to go to the
that's when
next
he was
movie.
asking for his endorsement, right?
Yeah, exactly. And here, well, I know we're about to have to go to the next movie, but the actor who played Tony Pro was very nervous about. Hold on, let me find this actor's name.
Okay.
No, okay, Stephen Graham. He was very nervous about doing this scene with Pacino and De Niro, as one actor would be, two
Yeah.
greats.
See the guy with the cigar?
Yeah,
In his
and he
mouth
showed
and
up
that-
in like the speech
Hawaiian
clothes.
shirt, yeah.
And he goes, and Al Pacino's like, I always wear a suit to a meeting.
Yeah.
And but he was very nervous because De Niro didn't have a line in that scene scripted, so he was worried about having to sit there with De Niro just watching him act the whole
Yeah.
time. And he said the amount of pressure that was lifted when De Niro said 12 and a half minutes was
Oh,
another
yeah,
thing.
I
of
can imagine.
just beauty.
That has to be one of the most intimidating moments of your
Yeah.
entire life.
Phil Hoffman co-starred in a movie with De Niro called Flawless. Great picture.
Well, for being honest, De Niro's not exactly an approachable guy.
Well, he seems that way.
Well,
Yeah,
approachable on a
he's so
surface.
demonstrative on the screen.
I mean, on a surface level, when you look at him from across the room, he doesn't look like he wants to talk to anybody.
yeah,
You know? Like, even looking at him at the Golden Globes, I don't
Yeah.
think he cracked a smile the entire time.
yeah. But Phil Hoffman said there was an elevator scene where he was gonna be in an elevator and the door would open and De Niro would be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Hoffman said, well, he was in that elevator alone and the camera couldn't see him. He said he was freaking out because he knew that when that elevator door opened, his acting idol, Robert De Niro, was going to be there and he had to show up and act.
Oh, my God.
And just the pressure of that is so intense, but
imagine.
that is so beautiful too.
Being alone in
Do
an
you know
elevator.
I wish I could have that experience.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah.
Even I'm not even an actor. I wish I could stand in front of that man.
Well,
Oh my God. Anyways,
Anyway,
I think
we gotta
that's
move
a good.
on.
I think that's a good stopping point for The Irishman, guys. If
Yeah.
you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's free to watch if you have Netflix. If you don't, get your friend's pass, or we all do it.
yeah, retweet.
Yeah. Up next, we've got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and again, guys, we've got to tell you.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Another spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to be breaking down all these movies. So I don't want to hear it when we spoil this movie for you. And you said we didn't warn you, because we did extensively. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Breakdown. from your
breakdown.
yours truly at Real Talk, Thomas Milder.
Thomas, take this one away.
All right,
It's your boy, Thomas Milder.
it's your boy. I need a button.
Yeah, you do need a button.
That's a shame. What do I?
I'm going to put that on the notes.
Okay, all right. Now, this film is Quentin Tarantino's 9th film as a director, which I think is interesting. That he's the only director that
Who counts?
Well, I don't know if he counts. I mean, I know he
No,
knows.
he totally counts. He
well,
totally counts.
No, he does. He does. But why do we count?
Because I think, didn't like a few times ago he said he's only going to do 10?
He said he was only going to do 10, and then switch to theater.
Do you believe that?
I think we're gonna get a 10-year break from Tarantino films, and then he's gonna come back and do another one because he misses it.
Yeah.
He's gonna do theater.
If maybe not 10, but there'll be
There will be
a little bit of
comeback.
there'll be a hiatus.
Yeah, 5 to 10 years is my guess, somewhere in there.
Because he does, how many years does he wait to release another picture? Like 3 or 4 or 5?
I mean, what
right?
was before this one? Hateful Eight. Yeah,
I believe so.
I think so because that was his 8th film. Hateful Eight. Before that was.
Oh, that was his 8th film, Hateful Eight.
Was that Inglourious Bastards before that?
This is hey.
I think it was
It was Django.
Django, and then Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. So 2009, Inglourious Bastards. 2012, Django. 2015, Hateful Eight. 2019.
Hey, Django reminds me.
So that's about 3 to 4.
One of these days on an episode, we're going to be breaking down our favorite performances of all time from actors.
Mm-hmm.
I got one from Django I want to talk about.
Do you know what movie was his highest grossing in the box office
Let me guess.
worldwide?
Let me guess. Oh, God. I don't know, actually.
Django Unchained, 425 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you want to say Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction got... Well, you also got to think... You're going to get more as we progress in time due to the amount of like social media and ads people see
Right.
and being able to watch that stuff on Netflix now. So.
True. Because you got to think Django had a theatrical release and did its normal run there, and then went to Netflix and basically had another run.
Yeah.
Anyways, listen up, guys. This movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and even Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, yeah.
Not as significant of a role, but he is there. Just want to throw that in.
It's a matter of principle.
Yeah.
The goat.
If he's in a movie, you can't just not say he's not in it. Right?
Yeah.
This story.
I'm sure he got the "and" credit too.
Probably.
You know.
Okay, what is that?
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about this real quick.
Because I read Anna Kendrick's book, her biography,
Oh yeah.
and she talks about a bunch of people was like saying that they want the "and" credit and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
never knew what that meant.
Someone called it the Samuel L. Jackson credit because he always gets that credit. So like, if you're not the lead, but you're like an established, like famous, respected actor, but you're not the lead, and you're teetering on supporting or not,
Yeah.
people want the "and" credit because it's the last credit and it gets the "and," so it's like on there a bit longer.
Stands out a little bit longer.
Yeah, and on TV shows, the supporting character normally gets it, especially in like the 90s and the 80s. It would be like Jerry Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Michael Richards, and Jason Alexander as George. It used to include the character that you played.
Oh.
And so it's just kind of, and on movie posters, it's the last name from left to right, and it gets the "and" credit. So producers typically fight over. See, on your Interstellar poster to the left, it's "and Michael Caine."
Okay, yeah, and on Pulp Fiction behind me, it's "and Bruce Willis."
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
It
yeah.
is interesting. I've always wondered that. I knew that was a thing that actors wanted.
I have something I can talk about, but I know we got to keep going, so I'm going to
Yeah.
write it on the RTS thing. It's about screenwriting an "and" versus "and" symbol.
All right. Guys, if you're actually interested in hearing us talk about all these things that we were going to talk about, it's Real Talk Shorts. Comes out every Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. to kick off your weekend.
Central Standard Time.
It's the show after the show, so we can make notes throughout the show and then talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Kind of the debriefing, if you will. Anyways, let's continue with this movie. The story follows Leonardo DiCaprio, and the actor in the movie, and his stunt double Brad Pitt, as they strive for success towards the end of Hollywood's golden age. Now, this is 1968, 69 in there, when Roman Polanski was still just a director, and his wife Sharon Tate, kind of about the murder of Sharon Tate.
Yeah, and the Manson family.
Yeah, and the Charles Manson and all of that. But obviously,
The actor they got to play him looked just like him.
well, the casting in this movie is really Margot Robbie. And we noticed before we started the
It
show.
looked exactly
looks
like
just like Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Same jawline, same nose, same everything. I mean, not same everything. I mean, they look different, but
Yeah,
you
but
know.
like
you get what I mean.
they're similar. Yeah.
You get what I mean. Anyways, also there's another performance in this movie by Leonardo DiCaprio that is featured in the trailer. He freaks out because there's this one scene, where, so the camera from the movie, like the one that they're literally filming the movie on, is playing the character of a camera in the movie. Okay, so Leonardo DiCaprio is playing an actor in this, right? So this can be kind of difficult to explain and kind of separate the two. But there was a scene where he couldn't get his line right, and he had practiced.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which scene?
Well, and this is in the movie, so it's not
okay.
like
I see
he
what
as
you're
an
saying.
actor couldn't get it right. It was just
His character
scripted
couldn't. Yeah.
as if he couldn't get the line right. And he had practiced all night before and stuff like that, but he just had like a drinking problem. And after they called rap on that scene, where they said moving on, he went back to his trailer. It was this freak out scene. You just see him enter the trailer and he throws his flask at the wall and it just it hits the window. It comes in and it's like, the way it's edited is so funny because he comes in and it's like a freak out and he's raging and stuff like this. He's like, "You stupid idiot. You got a drinking problem. Go in there, show up. You practice your lines. I can't even get my lines right, but I practice my lines all night. So I don't even understand why I can't get it." It's just, so it's like sad frustration, but also just anger and pure rage.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I mean, DiCaprio does that so well, though.
Yeah.
He does rage, but he does rage while also having an underlying layer.
You know
of,
who else
like,
does that very
emotion.
well?
Who?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
He does, and you showed me a couple scenes where he
Yeah.
did that incredibly well.
Oh, I read this about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, you know, Tarantino's big on like no distractions.
Right.
So he banned phones from the set. And
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant, who played a role in this movie, who was in Deadwood, is Seth Bullock, which is kind of what I like to describe as like the Wild West version of Breaking Bad. But he was saying that if you were caught on your phone during this movie, you'd be fired from the set.
Wow. What do you think about like the ADs? They gotta or the PAs. They gotta have a phone.
They said no. He did not use a phone. Like that, he did not permit phones.
Wow. So like, what if the assistant director or the second has to call a PA because they got to send them on a run?
Now I'm sure like if it's about a movie, but I know
About
like
the
if
movie.
you were on your phone, even when you weren't like on screen, just passing time,
yeah.
he wanted you to be locked in.
Now that I believe, but do you think that they just like had it in their pocket and that you just don't go on it,
I don't know.
or you think like
I think
you just leave it in your
yeah,
car?
you just leave it in your trailer or whatever.
Dang.
And I know that like he only had one script that he wrote. He only made one script.
I heard
you had
that.
to go to his house.
I heard that. Well, I mean, he wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote it. What a boss acceptance speech.
I hope
I don't really have anybody to thank because I wrote it. It's like, that is so alpha.
Honestly, now it is a great script and it did
Yeah.
deserve to win. So I hope it wins at the Oscars just so we can get another Tarantino speech. Because if he did that at the Golden Globes, I want him to do it again. Because it's so funny.
He's such a boss.
Or do a different version.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I wrote it. All right. Now this film is nominated for quite a few.
Yeah. Isn't it like 10 or something?
Yeah,
crazy?
a total of 10 nominations. It's been nominated for Best Actor, Best Picture, Supporting Actor, Best Director, Original Screenplay, Cinematography, Sound Mixing, Costume Design, Production
did the
Design,
cinematography
and
for
Sound
this?
Editing. That's a good question. I think his name's Robert.
Just Robert.
No, I don't know his full name. I can't remember. He's worked with Tarantino before. I know that. You got it?
Yeah, Robert Richardson.
Ah, dude, I was right. That was like a 50-50.
Oh, Kurt Russell narrated this.
Yes, that's right.
You know what else Kurt Russell was in? American Gangster. You know who's in that movie? Denzel Hayes Washington Jr. Give me that.
God. Oh my God.
Give me that.
Okay. Now guys, I gotta be honest with you. It's been a while since I saw this. I saw it when it came out.
And that was in the summer. Oh,
So it's not super fresh in my mind.
wait.
But there
Bruce
was
Dern is in this movie?
Yeah.
Who was he?
Yeah. Don't remember.
He is a boss.
Yeah, he's good.
He's Hollywood royalty, fam.
yeah.
Laura Dern's father.
Well, and she's nominated for supporting actress,
Yeah. Give me that.
which she deserves a win for.
Yeah, there's another example of being able to act from whatever age. Bruce Dern acting in movies to this day. He's 83 years old.
Wow. Well, even that applies to directors too.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood's still directing. That man is crusty. look at him.
How old is he now? He was in that movie, The Mule.
Yeah.
recently. He's 89.
Did you see that?
No.
It was pretty good.
Really? I
80
heard good things.
89. He was
this
born
dude
in
is-
1930.
Give me that. You know what that is? Do
1930.
you know what that is?
What?
That's alpha energy. That's
No,
what that is.
yeah.
That's overpowered.
Can you, like, how does he do that? How does he be on set and not die? Because he filmed American Sniper like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and that wasn't. They filmed in freaking Morocco.
Yeah, they did.
They filmed in Morocco for that movie. How do you get a freaking 85-year-old man to Morocco filming in the desert for 12 hours a day?
And he just did Richard Jewell.
Did he direct that?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Still killing it, man.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's a boss.
Hey, give me that.
Yeah. Well, he still acts too. Acting, dude. Because he did the whole movie. He was in The Mule.
He did J. Edgar too.
Yeah.
Or DiCaprio played
with
J. Edgar
DiCaprio,
Hoover.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
God, that guy's a boss.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Man.
Hey, I don't know why I have such an exigence to say this, but I just saw like this mystic river, and it made me think of. Have you ever seen the movie Wind River?
Uh-uh.
All right, we can't talk about it right now, but I'm putting it for Real Talk Shorts because we got to talk about that movie.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it. Let me talk about this one more scene for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. As we know, Tarantino's known for his violence.
An over gore.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, he doesn't do it in like a.
It's just a trademark. It's just a trademark.
It's just Hollywood.
Yeah.
He likes to make it really theatrical, and it's not supposed to be realistic. I mean, have you seen Kill Bill?
No.
There's a scene.
There's
in
a
it.
sequel of that, right?
There's two. Yeah. But I think it's the first one. Ridiculous. The best Tarantino. Like basically, it's his signature on the film. He literally him writing his signature on the celluloid.
Yeah. It really
No.
figuratively.
I mean, yeah, but there's a scene where they're at a conference table, and then this person uses a samurai sword to cut this person's head off. And it's literally just describing it without this detail. You're like Tarantino.
Yeah.
But not only that, but after it's cut off, the body remains perfectly still, just like this.
Yeah.
The head's gone, and it's like the high pressure. It looks like there is a power washer of blood shooting out like a geyser.
Yeah.
Shooting at the ceiling like psst, like
God.
it's brilliant. I love it. It's hilarious.
I watched this interview with Quentin Tarantino, and he said before he became like this.
Those are always interesting.
Yeah, those are always good. He said he worked at like a family video store,
Really?
like a Blockbuster.
No,
essentially.
I've heard that.
And he said that he became a legend in the neighborhood because of all these movies he would recommend to people. And people were like, "Hey, what movie should I watch?" And then he would well, I can't recommend you a movie without knowing what your tastes are. So he would have them sit and tell them their preferences. Okay, comedy. What's your favorite comedies? And they'd tell him. And he would actually pick a movie designed for their taste and remember what they liked. So when they came in next time, he'd have something picked for them.
That man has probably seen more movies than anyone on earth.
Yeah, that dude is
I think
a boss.
I say that pretty confidently. He has a movie encyclopedia literally in his brain.
just implanted.
I've heard actors describe him directing with movies, and he'd be like, "Oh, remember so and so in this movie from 1912?" And they'd be like, "No, I've never heard of that." So they have to go home and watch it
Just to understand one note.
just to understand the notes from Tarantino.
That's really
It's pretty
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And it really helps him with movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
because he can give little nods to all these different movies, you know?
That were out during the time, especially in a
I
movie
noticed-
like this, which is about making movies.
Yeah, I noticed there was one shot where he gave a nod to Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, where it was like a. Oh shoot, I don't remember this scene. I remember thinking that in the film. But anyways, that about brings us to the end of these 3 movies for week 1 of picture
Picture time.
picture picture time with Thomas and
It's your boy. Carson S. Davis.
there we go. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end. Not of the episode. We've still got more for you. What about our recommendations of the week?
The weekly Rex.
Now, you went first last week, so I'm going to go first this week.
You do that.
This week, I got a real banger for you guys, and you've probably heard it, but you've probably never watched it. You might have. Who knows? You might be intelligent. You might have seen it before me. Who knows? But I've just started it, and I'm on season 2.
How many?
Out of 4.
What is this? What is this? Series.
Mr. Senor Robot.
Senor Roboto.
Yeah, there we go. Wow.
Whoa.
Where is that showing up from?
Big Brother is
Oh,
watching.
that's my iPad across the room. No. It's been doing that like 3 times a day now.
Shout out to George Orwell.
Yeah, thanks. That was nice.
Thanks.
Anyways, Mr. I just did it again. Mr. Robot started in 2015. Just had its final season 4 in 2019. Stars Rami Malek, and it's kind of the story of a mentally ill hacker in New York City, and kind of the struggles of getting involved in a global cybercrime. Since I've started watching this, I've been so paranoid. And
Really?
It's actually really funny that just happened
Yeah.
with Siri, because the things that they apparently can do. Now, I'm not a hacker. I
Yeah.
don't know about all that stuff. So I'm just assuming that all this is plausible. And not all of it. Some of it's like, that's a bit of a reach. But like they can hack into your webcams and literally just they sit there and watch you and study you so that they have things to blackmail you with.
Jeez.
And
God. That's
there's
insane.
tape over my webcam.
I need to watch that series.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And actually, since
Where
I told
where is
you,
it available to watch?
it's available to watch on Amazon,
Okay.
Apple TV.
Okay.
I think that's it because it's an Amazon
Yeah.
original series.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny because I think this show started as a just a college student film,
Okay.
kind of college project that just got picked up. And it's funny because you can tell because I've worked on a bunch of student films before, and it's just the atmosphere. It's so fun to make movies on those sets
Really?
because it's such low stress in the scale of like a movie, you know.
Yeah.
And everyone's just having a good time, and it's just great. And you can tell. I mean, because I've seen behind the scenes like photos and stuff like that from this, and Rami Malek's just having a great time, and it's a relief because his character is so intense
Yeah.
that like you see him laughing, it's like
He's okay. He's actually okay.
it's like hey, we're all okay. It's good. I highly recommend it. Hard to put down. Binge the entire season in 2 days. The entire first season.
Really, in 2 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's faster than I watched the morning show.
That's dedication. That is
Yeah.
total dedication.
It was good, and I noticed the cinematography in it is also just really eccentric. It's not like anything I've ever seen before, but it works so well. And the character, the kind of the design of the character, like the different traits that it decided to give him, and it's written very creatively, and just I would highly recommend it. That's my recommendation of the week, Mr. Robot, starring Rami Malek.
Good to know.
What do you got for us, Carson?
All right, so I decided to recommend something that isn't like as known as some of the other stuff we recommend.
Sorry, my coffee's cold and it just grossed me out.
Hey, sorry.
I know.
That moment when
You
you're
don't
just
have
trying to enjoy a sip of coffee, but it's not at a
it falls short.
temperature above 50, 60, 70, 80 degrees.
My coffee's cold.
I'm so sorry. Anyway,
What's your recommendation?
so I decided to come out and give you something that isn't as known, a little hidden gem, if you will, and it is cut gem. It's not. an
Okay, I was about to ask. Was it cut or is it still? is it an uncut gem?
It's a cut gem. It's a little needle in a haystack. Okay.
Good.
Came out 2003. I was 1 year old. Thomas was 4 years old. Okay. And it stars the one, the only, the man, the myth, and the legend. Denzel Hayes Washington Jr. Okay. Give me that.
Didn't know he was a junior.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting factoid about Denzel. So his father was Denzel, spelled the same way, but it was Denzel, okay? And his mother named him Denzel Jr., right? There was too much confusion on when she called Denzel that she said, you know what? No. Your
Change
dad
it.
is Denzel, and you are Denzel. And she stressed the Zell. Give me that. All right. So anyway.
It's like you self-imposing. You every time you say your name, you have to include the S of your middle name.
Yeah, exactly. I adopted, yeah.
I'm kind of curious. What does the S stand for?
That's for me to know.
We should do a big reveal one day.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I can't let you know.
What's the S?
It could be Shrek. It could stand for Shrek.
If it was Shrek, I would shit my pants.
Do you want me to tell you a true story?
Yeah.
High school diploma, they made us all like check our names and tell us it's wrong. Mine said Carson, my full middle name, Davis, right? I totally just said, I don't have any like hate toward my middle name. I don't mind it. It's fine. I don't care. But just for the sake of continuity, I said it's wrong. Just call out Carson S. Davis. So
Oh my god.
just for the sake of continuity's sake, of course.
I don't think that's what you were going for.
Yeah, it was.
I think we got to really push this. We got to push this envelope.
Yeah,
you
do.
I got to be known as Carson S.
Yeah.
Davis.
And you don't want, it's
You
been
know,
a
whenever-
mystery throughout high school what the S stands for. So I don't want anybody to get satisfaction. from
You
it.
know what I'm gonna do?
What?
When we make this movie, when I make the credits,
What?
I'm not putting the S.
I'm not doing the movie.
Okay, I'll put the S.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
Wink.
back to we're running out of time here. Back to Out of Time. So it's an early 2000s crime thriller which follows a detective, which is Denzel Washington, and it's kind of his journey through finding this crime, but he has an indirect relation to the crime that he wasn't aware of. That's because he had to know. I can't tell you, but he had an indirect relation to the crime. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Just kidding.
No, this is a recommendation, so I can't spoil it, right? So he had an indirect relation to the crime, so he's trying to solve it because he wants the committer of the crime to be caught. But
Justice.
he also doesn't want everyone to know the details of it because it could affect his career. And it also stars Eva Mendes, who starred with him in the 2001 thriller Training Day, which Denzel won his second Oscar for Best Actor. Or his first Oscar was Best Supporting Actor in Glory, 1989. Not the point.
Your extensive knowledge of Denzel. Is
And
incredible.
also Sanaa Lathan. Very good motion picture. It's very short, too. That's what I like about it. It's a thriller, ties it all up really nice and neat, and it's not long. It's only like 90 minutes.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I totally
nice.
recommend
That's
it.
nice.
Yeah.
It's good. It's nice to have a really quality movie
Yeah.
that's not 3 hours long.
Yeah. It's just
Scorsese.
90 minutes. No, I'm not going to at Scorsese. He has reason. He wants you to
He
grow with the characters and have a establish
His
a
reason for
relationship.
doing long movies is that you make a more, you make a better relationship with the characters.
But go and watch Out of Time. I don't know what streaming services it's on, but guess what? The internet probably does.
Google it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you come to Real Talk for.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna recommend you all this stuff, but we're not gonna do any work for it. All right. Google it. You do the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, Thomas.
No, I'll include links to anything we referenced in this episode. So don't think is anything, but I'll see when I listen to this back. I didn't make notes.
All right. Cool.
All right. Well, that, guys, brings us to the end of recommendation of the week. And as you know, that's the last segment of this episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's at RealTLK_podcast. And Real Talk is now active on Facebook. We've just launched our Facebook page.
Give me that.
And that is at Real TLK Podcast, no underscore, because apparently the underscore was taken. I don't
By who?
I don't know. It just it wasn't taken and just didn't let you do underscores.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
And also, hey, Become an anchor on support. Become a supporter on Anchor. Hey, no, actually, become an anchor for Real Talk. You can be the strong, steady base that holds this podcast
You're
together.
our anchor.
Yeah.
No, but become a supporter on Anchor. Click on the notes for this episode and click on the link in the notes for this episode and become a supporter. You can donate as little as 99 cents a month.
You don't have to.
But you should.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Guys, literally, that's only $12 a year. That is.
Spoiler
Wrong
button.
one, dude. That is only $12. Do you know what costs $12?
What?
A cheeseburger from Whataburger.
Wow.
An Old Navy T-shirt.
Wow.
That's it. You spend $12 every day.
Buy us an Old Navy T-shirt. That's all we ask for.
That's it. That's it. And actually, an Old Navy T-shirt is a little cheaper. I think it's like
Right.
$8.
$5.99.
Give us a tip.
Hey,
Anyways,
it's beautiful.
become a
cinema.
supporter on Anchor. Isn't this great music?
Yeah.
All right. That's all we got to say about that. But please consider supporting us. This podcast takes a lot of time to do and requires certain expenses. And it would mean the world to us if you could just help us out a tiny, tiny bit. $12 would actually go a long way for this. You know,
You could buy us our coffee and croissants in the morning.
No. That's not what it goes
I'm
to.
just kidding. That's not what it would go to.
No, it goes.
We're actually trying to invest in.
Glue for these
Glue,
freaking
yeah.
sound panels that keep falling off the wall.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it sound good for you guys. Anyways, thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week with episode 8, where we will discuss the movies. What?
Just say the movies.
Ford versus Ferrari, Parasite,
And Joker.
You're listening to Real Talk.